What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Tuesday, September 17th, 2024, and I have an emergency alert to share with you guys. Right now it is 1932 Eastern Time in the United States, and we have some major breaking news coming in from Israel. So, Israel launched a massive attack on Hezbollah, an unusual attack today. What they did was they detonated thousands of pagers that had small amounts of explosives placed in them that were used by Hezbollah. So these were pagers used by Hezbollah operatives. Israel basically sent out some type of a message to these pagers and caused them all to detonate. And we're hearing now that as many as 4,000 Hezbollah operatives have been injured, and over 500 have been critically injured and 11 killed. Okay, so this is absolutely insane, guys. 4,000 plus Hezbollah operatives have been seriously injured by this pager attack. Very unusual and very, very interesting. And the New York Times is reporting that Israel conducted its operation against Hezbollah by secretly placing explosive materials inside of a shipment of Taiwanese-made pagers imported into Lebanon and used by Hezbollah, according to American and other officials familiar with the operation. And we're also hearing from Arab intelligence agencies that Mossad placed explosives in the pager batteries. Each battery of the exploded pager contained about 20 grams of pentaerythritol nitrate, or PETN. This high explosive is usually used in military detonators. It is similar to lithium salts used in batteries of electrical appliances. Therefore, even a thorough check of the pagers would not find anything. And apparently the way it was used is that upon a specific signal, the pagers began to short and heat up their lithium-ion batteries, but instead of burning, the battery exploded due to the PETN. Okay, so normally the batteries would just overheat and the phone would probably overheat and you'd have a destroyed phone, but it wouldn't blow up. But they put this PETN inside of the battery, which caused them to explode once they got hot. And Mossad, the Israeli intelligence agency, apparently placed these batteries in the last batch of pagers that arrived in Lebanon from Taiwan. So this is very, very serious, guys. We're also hearing that. And before I continue with the breaking news, I just wanted to mention the sponsor for this update, which is My Patriot Supply. Guys, My Patriot Supply is doing a 25% discount on their mega 3-month emergency food supply. And to get the deal, you got to go to preparewithnyprepper.com, and the link is in the description below this video. But this is basically like their normal 3-month emergency food supply with some extra stuff. Is freeze-dried, so it lasts 25 years. It's packaged in rugged, watertight buckets that don't take up a lot of space. So it's just a no-brainer. So use the link preparewithnyprepper.com to get 25% off of the My Patriot Supply Mega 3-month emergency food supply. This operation was forced to be carried out early after Hezbollah had become suspicious of the pagers, with 2 members of Hezbollah having somehow discovered the plot, leading to one of them being eliminated, and the pagers then being detonated before the other could provide Hezbollah with a warning. So very strange situation, very concerning. And a Hezbollah intelligence official stated that the encrypted pagers were emitting beep beep several times before then exploding near the head or abdomen of the victims, with the explosion believed now to have originated with the lithium battery of the pager. And the Lebanon Ministry of Health now reporting just shy of 4,000 injured in hospitals, More dead also confirmed. And Israel has called the commanders of several different army units into a classified meeting, fearing military retaliation by Hezbollah. We're also hearing that Israel is preparing their military for a response from Hezbollah. The Air Force, the Northern Command, the Intelligence Division, and the entire IDF are on high alert. We're also hearing reports of bomb shelters being opened in various parts of Israel. So this is crazy, guys. This is an absolutely crazy situation here. And according to Israeli Channel 14, senior Israeli military officials are preparing for a third Hezbollah war, which is expected to begin almost immediately. So they're expecting an immediate response from Hezbollah and a war. And several hours after the pagers exploded in Lebanon, the Secretary of Defense here in the U.S., Lloyd Austin, spoke to his Israeli counterpart, Yoav Gallant, on the phone and discussed the situation per a source familiar with the discussion. And reports indicate that the Iranian ambassador to Lebanon has lost his eyesight following the pager explosions. Lebanon's health minister is now confirming 11 killed, 4,000 wounded, and over 500 seriously wounded, with many of these Hezbollah members having lost their eyesight. So this is a very, very serious situation. And numerous European airlines are now canceling their flights to and from Tel Aviv, Tehran, and Beirut. So we have Lufthansa, major German airline, canceling all flights to and from Tel Aviv and Tehran for at least the next 48 hours. British Airways has canceled all their flights to and from Tel Aviv and Beirut for the next 48 hours. Also, Swiss Air and Air France have postponed all flights to and from Tel Aviv for at least the next 48 hours. So guys, it does appear that escalation is imminent. It looks like this war between Hezbollah and Israel is about to kick off. Also, the Israeli Minister of Defense, Yoav Gallant, met yesterday with U.S. President Biden's envoy on Middle Eastern affairs, Amos Hochstein, who just finished a visit to Lebanon in a failed attempt to cool tensions in the region, with Defense Minister Gallant stating during the meeting that the only way now for the residents of northern Israel to return to their homes is through military action against Hezbollah. Okay, so here's a picture of Yoav Gallant meeting with Amos Hochstein. Hochstein has been trying to keep the peace in this region for the last year, since October 7, and now Yoav Gallant basically straight up told him that the only way to return Israelis into the northern part of Israel is through military action. And we are hearing some reports that yesterday the Israeli War Cabinet approved a major military operation in Lebanon to deal with Hezbollah. And I want to just show you guys some concerning military activity over the United States this evening. So we currently have several U.S. P-8 Poseidon sub-hunters active off the east coast of the U.S. We have 2 sub-hunters in the Gulf of Mexico, and then we have one off the coast of Orlando. And it's pretty unusual to have 2 of these go out into the Gulf at the same time. In addition to that, we also have another sub-hunter off the coast of Cape Cod right now, and it's been looping off the coast of Cape Cod and Massachusetts, New Hampshire for quite a while this evening. And also we have a high priority reconnaissance plane that took off from Offutt Air Base in Nebraska and is now heading down the coast of Baja California in Mexico. This is very unusual. Check this thing out. Look how far south it's going. It's about to pass the Baja Peninsula here, and it's heading straight for Puerto Vallarta. So this thing is going really far south. Not sure why, but this is very, very unusual and very, very concerning. And here's that sub-hunter, the P-8 Poseidon, and you can see it was flying really low here off the coast of Cape Cod, doing numerous passes here around Cape Cod, and now it appears to be heading to Nova Scotia for some reason. And U.S. soldiers were deployed to an Alaskan island near Russia in response to increased Russian and Chinese military activity recently near Alaska. 130 soldiers were deployed to the Aleutian Islands on September 12, 2024, one day after NORAD reported increased tracking of Russian military aircraft within the Alaskan ADIZ, or Air Defense Identification Zone, which also occurred on September 13th and September 14th and September 15th. So if you remember, in my recent updates, I was covering this. We had 3 or 4 pairs of Russian AWACS planes, recon planes, fly up to Alaska, basically every day from the 12th through the 15th, 4 days in a row, a pair of Russian recon planes flew up to Alaska. And now we're sending the 11th Airborne Division and the 1st and 3rd Multi-Domain Task Force to the Shemya Island in Alaska. Now in addition to that, we also had this E-3 Sentry AWACS plane that took off from Anchorage and went straight towards Russia just 2 days ago. It flew over St. Lawrence Island and it went straight for Russia. And it does appear that it actually flew into Russian airspace because it disappeared from the flight tracker as soon as it got close to Russia. So I don't know what happened there, if that's just an error with the flight tracker, but the flight tracker showed it going straight to Russia. So very serious situation. We also have this NOTAM that's been posted for the Barents Sea and the Kara Sea. This is near Norway and near Russia's Kola Peninsula. So apparently there's going to be some rocket launching through the 30th of September. And also they're talking about daily rocket launching from the 19th to the 23rd of September and the 24th to the 28th of September in the Kara Sea. So Russia's testing something here. My guess is they're going to be testing their Burevestnik. That's their nuclear-armed, nuclear-powered cruise missile. And what's interesting is, in addition to this NOTAM, we had reports that there was a spike of radioactive cesium-137 along Norway's border with Russia. The radiation levels are clearly higher than normal, authorities have said in Norway, and the cause of the mysterious spike is unknown. The spike occurred from September 9th through September 12th. One fears that it could be related to Russia's Pankava test site for the Burevestnik on the Novaya Zemlya archipelago. The Barents observers said that on satellite images that they obtained, they saw in the course of the summer several cargo ships and special purpose vessels in the waters outside of the Pankava test site over the last few weeks. And over the last few weeks, Rosatom's 2 large Ilyushin 76 transport planes were periodically seen parked at the airport in Rogachevo at Novaya Zemlya. These aircraft are believed to conduct operations connected to the Burevestnik testings. So maybe Russia's going to be doing another test of their Burevestnik. And we have some major breaking news from the Ukraine war. Apparently, officially, the total number of casualties in the Ukraine war on both sides, Russia and Ukraine, has reached 1 million. 1 million casualties has officially been reached. This is insane. This is the first time in decades since the Korean War. And Russian soldiers executed a Ukrainian prisoner of war with a medieval-style sword in revenge for the incursion into Kursk. Ukraine has claimed sickening pictures appear to show an unarmed Ukrainian soldier lying in a pool of blood after being stabbed with the primitive weapon by his Russian captors. The level of barbarity and bloodthirstiness is impossible to comprehend, said Dmytro Lubinets, the Ukrainian parliament's commissioner for human rights. The sword is seen embedded in the torso of the Ukrainian fighter, whose hands have been bound with tape, with his body evidently left out as a macabre warning. The words "for Kursk" are daubed on the sword. Last month, a Russian fighter boasted that his battalion had blown the heads off Ukrainian servicemen. Grim video showed the soldier allegedly posing with a severed head impaled on a pole. The footage was reported as a war crime to the UN by the Kyiv authorities and was seemingly made at a Russian border checkpoint in the Belgorod region. Also in August, a suspected Ukrainian prisoner of war was pictured with his head, arms, and legs dismembered. Videos have shown executions of unarmed and bound POWs. In June, the severed head of a Ukrainian defender was allegedly placed on a war-damaged armored vehicle by Russian invaders. And a Ukrainian world champion boxer was arrested or detained at the Krakow airport in Poland. And the timing is funny because I'm in Krakow right now. Apparently, this guy is a world heavyweight champion in the WBC, WBO, WBA, and IBO division with 22 wins, 0 losses, and 14 knockouts. There's no details on why he was detained at the airport in Krakow. And North Korea launched a suspected ballistic missile this evening, according to the Japanese government. And in just about 3 hours, we're going to have a partial eclipse of a blood supermoon. Okay, so we have a full moon and a supermoon and a partial eclipse, okay, going on tonight in just about 3 hours at 10:44 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 22:44 Eastern Time. So I don't know if that means anything, if World War III is going to kick off after this blood moon, but the Bible talks about signs in the heavens a lot. So we'll have to just wait and see. But I'm very concerned about what's going on in the Middle East, and I'm very concerned about what's going on in Ukraine. I'm very concerned that Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, is going to try to nuke Ukraine once Ukraine is allowed to conduct deep strikes with Western weapons into Russian territory. Okay, I think that's going to be Putin's excuse to use nuclear weapons on Ukraine and possibly strike NATO bases in Europe. So that could happen any day now. Could happen tomorrow, could happen next week, next month. Okay, so get prepared, because I do think if Putin's going to do something like that, he's going to do it before the next president is sworn in. Okay, so that's the latest breaking news that I have. I will continue to monitor the situation, and I might be back tomorrow night with another update. I am in Poland for a couple more days. I will be back in the U.S. this weekend. So until I get back to the U.S., I will try to continue to update you, but I can't guarantee that. So until the next time, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.